Hey guys, Google just dropped Nano Pro. It's their latest AI image generation model, and it's honestly crazy because with this latest model, you can't tell what's AI generated or not anymore. For example, which one of these pictures of me is AI generated? Is it this one or is it this one? Seriously, go ahead, take a deep look because you genuinely can't tell with how crazy good this latest model is. And real fast, if you did pick the second one, you're right, but seriously, how close were both of those? And in the rest of this video, I'm gonna walk you through the 4 major updates that Google added to this latest model. And don't worry, I've been stress testing the heck out of it so that you can see with your own eyes if this newest model actually lives up to the promises Google is making. And to make things as easy as possible for you guys, I've included all the images, prompts, and everything else that you're about to see in today's video so you can try it out yourself and be blown away. So that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into the video. All right, so let's cover the 4 major updates inside of Nano Pro. And the first thing you need to know is the technical name for this new model is Gemini 3 Pro Image. So under the hood, we're actually getting a lot of the benefits of Gemini 3 Pro, which means this new model is way smarter, has a ton of knowledge about the world, its reasoning skills are unreal, and one of the other cool features is this new image generation model has access to real-time information. So whenever you're saying, hey, go make an image about, what's going on today or in this new event, it actually has access to it, which is crazy. Outside of that, when it comes to second major update, they've made the text styling and font way better. In the past, in regular Nano, a lot of the times the text was like super plain. It kind of looked like Arial font all the time. But in this new model, oh my gosh, you have control over like texture, typography. Like it's crazy what you're about to see when it comes to the improvements they've made to the text generation inside of images. And the final 2 huge updates that they've added is the ability to do what they call studio quality creative controls, which means in simple terms, you basically have the ability to completely control the camera. So you can move the camera around a character and it will look exactly like what you would expect it to do. Outside of that, whenever you want to just fine tune or change what's going on in an image, like maybe replace something and put something else in its place, you can easily do that and it works perfectly. And then finally, the 4th update, which is just crazy, is consistency. So character consistency, like you saw in the beginning with which image of me is real and not, I mean, it's literally perfect at this point. And they've also added the ability for you guys to actually include up to 14 characters and it will keep all the characters consistent. And I'm so excited for you guys to see that demo. So with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and start seeing each one of these different updates in action so you can see just how crazy good this new model is. Oh, and by the way, thank you so much Google for providing me early access to this newest model. I've had so much fun testing out all the image generation features and I cannot wait for you guys to actually get to see everything in action. So let's go ahead and dive in. All right, so for the first set of tests, we're gonna see how good is the new text generation feature inside of Nano Pro. Now, here's what we're gonna do. For test number 1, we're gonna say, hey, can you please make an image of a crumpled up wet supermarket receipt that's lying in a rainy puddle on asphalt. The text needs to be legible and basically read, thank you for shopping at Future Market. And the ink should look like it's slightly watered. So the first image you're looking at is old school Gemini 2.5 image generator, so basic default Nano Pro. And as you can see, it does a pretty good job of like, it is a receipt, it has the right text, it is lying in a puddle of water, but if you think about putting a receipt in water, the text should be smudged. So when you hop over to the second image, which is generated by Nano Pro, you can see this is exactly what you would expect to see in this type of scenario, where you can see the receipt where the part's kind of submerged in water. All the text is that's ink, it's all blurred together, it's bleeding out, but it still has that middle part that looks the exact same type of font you would expect to see from an actual like printer from a receipt, which is crazy. They absolutely crushed it. Now, here's where we make things even harder for the model. What we can do to test out its consistency, we can give it a second prompt where we're going to say, hey, can you please actually change the text on this receipt to say error 404, grocery not found, please reload. Outside of that, we can say, can you make the paper look like it's burning on the edges? So for the first variation, you can see the old school, Nano Pro, they did it. They actually made the image still staying in asphalt, so it was super consistent on that. They changed the text and they made it on fire. However, what you can see is like, it just doesn't look right. It doesn't look like the real world where, the fire is kind of on fire where it should be on water, and fire and water obviously don't mix. So, this is where Gemini 3 Pro comes in handy. And if we look at the new image using Gemini 3 Pro, the Nano Banana Pro, you can see this is exactly what you would expect to see if you were to light a receipt on fire in a puddle of water. Like, its ability to understand physics is crazy. Not only that, it was still super consistent. And when the second I actually did this test, I was like, oh, this is good. This model beats everything else at image generation. So let's go on and keep on testing it. So here's what we want to do for the second text challenge. We want to say, hey Gemini, can you please create a picture of like a steamed up window pane where I have drawn onto the window pane I should be working right now, and you should make it look like I drew it with my finger, and there should be droplets water to distort the letters. Now, here's what Nano Banana Regular did. So as you can see, this model did a good job. Like, it actually checked all the boxes. However, it looks AI. What I mean by that is the text is always so perfect. It's always, like I said, Arial font. It's like text is overlaid on it, but it did it. Like, it did check the boxes. Now, let's go ahead and look at what Nano Banana Pro could do. And as you can see in this image, this is perfect. This literally looks like I'm in a big city and I went to a window pane, used my finger, and drew text on it. This is insane. It's the ability for Gemini to understand physics in the newest model of Gemini 3 Pro. It is unreal. But there's still more. Let's keep testing it. So just to really stress test the consistency, once again, I passed in a new prompt where I basically wanted to keep the same window pane, but I wanted to change the way the text was, and I wanted to change the background scene. So what I said is like, hey, can you make the window pane now dirty and old, like it's an old storefront window, and let's change up the text to say closed for maintenance until further notice, and let's make this like grimy and kind of streaky. So we've really changed things up. And this is, once again, testing some of the features that Google announced, which is the ability to really have full control over the way letters and typography work. So here are the results from Nano Banana. As you can see in this one, like, once again, it checked all the boxes. However, it completely failed on consistency. This looks nothing like the previous image. Now, when it comes to Nano Banana Pro, once again, this thing is perfect. It literally just looks like I swapped out the background and I had old lettering from old time ago, everything smudged and grimy, and once again, it crushed it. So now that you've got to see some like realistic images, let's go ahead and try once again with text generation and more of something abstract. So let's head over to test number 3. So for our third test, what we want to do is try something a little bit more abstract. And what we're going to say is, hey Gemini, can you please make a cozy autumn scene that has a large pile of leaves, and inside the leaves, can you make it carefully arranged to where the leaves spell out the word, please do not touch the grass. And then there should be some leaves kind of like curled around, and it just should look pretty natural. Now, here is what Nano Banana did. So as you can see, it looks like AI to where, it's overly kind of feels like a little bit animated, but it did a great job. Once again, check the boxes, please do not touch the grass. But now here's what Nano Banana Pro did. So this one, the leaves just look like stupid real. And what's crazy is like you can't even read the text in certain spots because the leaves are so perfect. So absolutely crushed this one. And once again, to kind of stress test the consistency and physics part of this new model, I passed in a second prompt to basically say, hey, for each one of these images, can you make it look like the wind's blowing? Now, here's what it did for Nano Banana. As you can see, it actually has the leaves scattered up in the air. It does look exactly like, it almost looks like a Pixar-ish movie a little bit, where like leaves are rustling in the wind. But now for Nano Banana Pro, when we add the same wind effect to it, it really looks like an actual wind gust is messing up the leaves and blowing it off. Like the leaves actually look perfect. It fully understands physics and the way the real world works. So yeah, that is text generation in the new Nano Banana Pro. So let's go ahead and move over to our next set of tests. Oh, and real fast, if you're looking to ship your own AI applications in days instead of months, you're absolutely going to love shipkit.ai. Inside ShipKit, you're going to get a combination of a bunch of pre-built real-world AI applications for the most common type of real-world AI applications. Inside ShipKit, you get access to a course where we walk you through the entire process of building AI applications from beginning to end. And one of the coolest parts is we use AI every step along the way. You'll see inside of ShipKit, we have videos for you to watch, everything so you can understand all the core principles. You get to chat with the actual course material if you ever have questions. We have community calls. multiple times a week. And one of the other coolest parts is it's AI first. What I mean by that is inside ShipKit, when it comes to doing everything for building a real world AI application, we have templates to help do all the heavy lifting for you. So you kind of get to sit back and say, hey, I do the work, and it does it for you. Outside of that, one of the coolest things I think you guys will really like, especially with the Black Friday sale going on right now, is we have just added a new project template that you would have got for free, where we teach you how to do background working jobs. And the reason I say you'll like this is because one of the new additions we're adding to this is showcasing you guys how you can take images and actually convert them into like AI video shorts, such as these little videos that you can see right here. This is one of the new projects we're adding to ShipKit, hopefully right before Black Friday ends. So this is all the things that you're seeing right now with Nano Banana Pro. We're actually going to be using in the new project template that's getting added right now. So just a quick reminder, Black Friday sale is going to end right at Cyber Monday. If you have any questions, always feel free to shoot me an email. Happy to help. We have hundreds of members in the community making money with their own AI applications and doing consulting projects using ShipKit. So yeah, let me know if you have questions, but back to the video. So now it's time to dive into our second set of tests for the new model. And the way we're going to do that is to start to build out some infographics. And what we're going to do is really see how well the model can do when it comes to knowledge, reasoning, and its ability to actually fetch some real-time information, which is a new feature. So let's dive into our first test. Now, what we want to do is say, hey, Gemini, can you please create me a detailed educational infographic that explains the process of photosynthesis in a plant? Now, please break down like all the inputs, such as like sunlight, water, CO2, and what are the outputs like oxygen. Make sure it's a nice, clean graphic as well. I want you to showcase some specific visuals of how photosynthesis works at night using moonlight. Now, here's what the first model created using Nano Banana Pro. So as you can see, this is like pretty basic model. Don't worry, you're about to be shocked when you see the second one, but it's pretty basic. Like it does check all the boxes of including all the core inputs, sunlight, it actually has a plant, water. So it has a decent idea of understanding what's going on, but there's like nothing detailed about what's actually happening. You just see stuff with arrows moving around. It did also show moonlight to show what gets spit out, but it doesn't do a great job. So now let's watch to see what Nano Banana Pro can do. So here is a full-blown infographic, which looks like something I read out of a textbook in elementary school. This thing is crazy, like, mind blown. So as you can see over there on the left, it's actually using and like all the proper scientific terms of like, hey, when sunlight hits, it's actually hitting the chloroplast and that's converting things to ATP and it's doing the full thing. Now, what's happening on the right-hand side is it properly showed, here's what happens at nighttime. We no longer have carbon dioxide or sunlight. We're now moving over to moonlight. When moonlight hits, we have to use the Calvin process or Calvin cycle, which changes the way things work. And like, I mean, heck, I learned something while looking at this infographic. So that's how you know it's good, when you're like, oh, I never knew the Calvin cycle actually existed. So this is crazy that it was able to do that. Clearly shows off its ability to understand, and it's insanely knowledgeable. So let's go ahead and test it out on a second set of tests. Now, for our second test, what we want to do is make another infographic, but we want to start to see how it can deal with real-time information. So here's what we're going to do. Can you please generate a really stunning, dynamic-looking infographic for a 7-day weather forecast of Atlanta, Georgia? For each day, make sure you kind of show the day of the week, and make an animated style for each weather. Show off if it's sunny, showering, and the overall design should just look very pretty. Now, here's what happened when I ran this with, Nano Banana. First off, it has no access to real-time data. So the second I ran this, it said, nope, can't access that information. So I actually had to break it up into 2 requests, where request 1 actually gave me the weather data. The second I had the weather data, I could then swap back into Nano Banana Pro, and then it made this graphic that you can see right here. And it did it. Like, I like the cool, glass elements where you get to see the weather. It got the date right. It actually got the days of the week properly. It did everything that you would want. And I actually checked the weather. That's actually right. So it crushed it. Now, let's go ahead and hop over to Nano Banana Pro so you can see I passed that same prompt in, and using the new model, it did it in a single shot. So it actually got real-time information and generated this graphic where it shows the days of the week, the actual date as well. Now it has some, once again, that cool like card animation. where it actually shows the low, the high, and it does a really good job of showcasing, hey, it's going to be cloudy or foggy, it's going to be sunny. It did a really good job of it. So this was super cool that I was able to do it in a single prompt. And so, hey, I can confirm real-time data does actually work using the new Nano Banana Pro. So now let's hop over to our third set of tests for this new model. So now when it comes to our third set of tests, we're really going to see how well this new model can do for the studio quality creative controls, because they're saying you have the ability to control the camera angle, replace items, change focus. Like, they have made a ton of huge promises. So let's put it to the test. Now for this first one, what we're going to do is test the camera angle. So here's a picture of me smiling. And what I've done is I've passed in a prompt to where I say, hey, please reshoot this exact image using this new type of camera, your 16 millimeter wide angle lens, and make sure you do it from a low angle. Now, here is what happened when I used Nano Banana. As you can see, it kind of just zoomed out a little bit is the best way I would describe it, and maybe move the camera angle down like an inch, but it really just looks like it zoomed out. That's all it did. So now let's look at what it did with Nano Banana Pro, and here's the new image. So as you can see, it has a picture of me to where like it's like from my desk looking up at my face. It did a pan out. What's so funny is it actually crushed the ability, like it knew that's exactly where my ceiling is, which is so funny how it knew like I am in the closet downstairs. So it actually detected I was in a closet. It's like a camera is literally right in my room, which is blowing my mind. The only thing though, it made me look old, which made me sad when I saw this, but like it did all the boxes minus making me look 20 years older. So I got to pick a bone with Google on that one, but it absolutely crushed it. It even has like the bottom of my hand. I don't know. The second I saw this, I was blown away, and it did such a good job of keeping up with my books and everything in the background. I think if we zoom in, yeah, if you zoom in though, you'll kind of see it messed up the text on the actual books. So that is a quick way to see like, hey, it's not perfect, but to like a quick glance, my gosh, that is the exact same picture from a different angle. So let's go on to our second test. So what we want to do in our second test is to see how well these new models can do at changing focus on different images. So here is an input image that I used AI to create, which is basically like a close-up picture to where we have a dewdrop. Behind the dewdrop, we have a spider that's slightly out of focus. And then way in the background, we have a forest. So here's the prompt that we're going to pass into the model to see how well it can do. So we're going to say, hey, using this picture, can you please shift the focus entirely to go to the green forest in the background and then make the dewdrop and the spider completely blurred out. So here is what happened when I used Nano Banana. So what's crazy is I tried this like 6 times, and every time I tried it, it gave me back the same image. So there's like, in my eyes, I was like, this is the exact same image. And I tested it 6 times because I was like, nothing's changing. So I guess, you know, the previous model of Nano Banana just doesn't understand focal points and everything. So, you know, kind of failed. So now let's hop over to the new image where you can see Nano Banana Pro refocusing. So here's what it looks like. As you can see, it has the spider blurred out. The only gotcha is the dewdrop is still pretty in focus, so it kind of failed on that. However, when it comes to the actual forest in the background, my gosh, it made that perfectly crystal clear, and it's almost like you have like the spider in your eyes, the spider web to kind of blur a little bit out. So overall, this crushed it. I will say I have seen other tests where they don't have 3 layers of focus, because right now we have the dewdrop, spider, and forest. I've seen other examples where there's only 2 focal points, like a person and grass, and they go back and forth. And those pictures with just 2 focal areas, it dominates. So I think I just kind of stress tested it a little too much by doing 3 layers. But overall, and crazy impressive and an insane huge upgrade comparing to the previous model of Nano Banana. So what we want to do for the final third test is hop over with actually changing some different items out in a picture. So let's go ahead and hop over to the third. And for this third test, what we want to do is use this input image of a man cooking over a fire inside of a restaurant. And what we're trying to do is actually test out the ability for the model to kind of like fine tune, replace stuff. So what we want to do for this one is the fire in this picture, we want to change it. So what we're going to do is say, hey, in this image, completely change the way the fire works. And instead of using glowing coals that are under the image, can you now use like blue bioluminescent crystals and make sure the light that they emit is still blue and it actually like affects the surrounding area. Now, here's what happens when we try this out with Nano Banana. what happens is it actually puts the crystals in the bottom, but then what happens is like you can see they're kind of shooting through, and like it doesn't look like he's cooking anymore. Like it's missing the point of, hey, we're cooking, but we just actually changed out and substituted coals for this new type of heat. Now, here's what happens when we tried it with Nano Banana Pro. So this one is crazy. It actually did a phenomenal job of like replacing coals with these like blue crystals. I don't know, AI came up with this test, so it is trippy. But what you can see is now the blue crystals actually have a fire coming out. The guy's still cooking, and it actually made the fire blue. So all around, it crushed it. It left the food exactly where it's at. The background signs, everything is identical. The only thing that's changing is the blue crystals and like the hue on his face. It actually really reflects what's going on. So once again, huge check to Nano Banana Pro. So now what we're going to do is move over to our extra set of tests, and super pumped for you guys to see a few more crazy results. So now it's time for the final test for Nano Banana Pro, and this is my favorite one out of all of them. So Google made a huge promise that you can include up to 14 different characters in a prompt, and it will keep them consistent in the output. So to test this, what I did is I made AI come up with these 14 different images that you can see right here, where we're supposed to be like in future space suits and everything. So we got everything from robots to people, animals, aliens, you name it, we got it in this. Then what I did is I passed all of these images in and gave it a huge prompt where I basically said, hey, can you please create like a wide cinematic horizontal shot of a busy futuristic spaceship transport lounge, and what we want to do is put all these 14 characters into this scene. And to add some complexity, we basically create 3 different layers where there's a foreground, a midground, and a background. And in each one of these different areas, we have different characters outlined. Now, here's what I absolutely love about the final result. So what you can kind of see in this final image, it include all the characters. They look the exact same in the input as they do in the output. What I also think is super cool is a lot of the way the characters were behaving, just like actually fundamentally behaving in the inputs, they're doing in the output. For example, the little goblin guy with the gear, well, he's with the robot. It looks like he's about to start working and helping out on his knee. When it comes to the, like, what would you even call him? Like the frog lizard guy with that's a tourist. Well, it understands that he's a tourist. It looks like a tourist. So what's he doing? He's obviously taking a picture of himself. Then when it comes to the like back door, you can see there's the like, I can't remember the name, but the horse person robot guy with a gun. Well, he looks like a security guard. So it kind of put him in the back as a security guard. So all around, this just was unreal. The fact that it could actually handle up to 14 different people and make them actually look all cohesive in a picture is genuinely crazy. This was my favorite one by far. Heck, if you want to download this picture and make it your background, you can. It's down the link in the description below. So I hope you guys have your minds blown after seeing all of those tests. And what I wanted to do is just one quick final recap of all the major features so you guys know exactly what was included in Nano Banana Pro, and I'm pumped for you guys to try it out too. So first things first, you got to see in real time that this model is a beast. Its ability to reason and have just a ton of knowledge and grab real world information is unreal. You saw that in the infographics and the ability to just see what it did with physics. Then when it comes to text, I mean, between the receipt and everything else that you guys got to see with the leaves and everything else, this model's ability to include text in all sorts of dynamic places and make the font actually match what it should look like in real world, it's just crazy. I've not got to try out multiple languages yet, but hey, I would love to hear if you guys get a chance to try it. What do you think? Next, for the final, 2 big updates when it comes to studio quality controls. Absolutely love the ability to change the different camera angle. It did make me old, still upset at that. However, when it came to the actual original picture with me holding up 1 finger or 2, that one was perfect. And then finally, when it comes to character consistency, I mean, the ability for it to do the 14 different characters, I still can't get my mind over that one. That one was just genuinely unreal that it was able to put all the characters together and to still maintain their personalities in a cohesive manner in that big portrait shot was just crazy. So yeah, all around, Nano Banana Pro, I'm giving it a huge check. I can't wait to see what you guys think about it too. So that's a wrap for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed seeing Nano Banana Pro in action. My mind is blown, and I can't wait to see how you guys use this new image generation model for your own projects. And just a few quick reminders, don't forget on that Black Friday sale for ShipKit, if you're looking to build out your own real-world AI applications in days instead of months, definitely want to grab it while the Black Friday deal is here, $75 off. And also, Also, Google has had a tear of a week. So if you want more Google content, I have a ton of other videos right here on this channel to cover everything from Gemini 3 Pro all the way to anti-gravity. So definitely recommend checking those out wherever they're popping up on the screen now. And I cannot wait to see you guys until next time. Hope you have a great day. See ya.